Thank you,
Yeah.
Mayor. My name is Ken Henschel. I'm the chairman of the Board of Commissioners of the Tigard Water District. We serve the unincorporated area in and around the Tigard area. Thank you for asking me to come up. I recognize this is your meeting and this is your discussion point, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have or provide some clarification on things that have already been brought up.
So Councilor Snyder?
Well, I think there were two questions raised now, one asked by me and one by Councilor Woodard. The first being, does the water district want Tigard water beyond 2018? And Councilor Woodard, your question was, if not, where would you go?
Right.
Okay. The short answer is yes, we would. The city of Tigard has done an exceptionally good job of providing that water since this agreement has taken effect. We've had very few problems. The professionalism has been outstanding. The water quality and other related issues the city's done a great job. We have no compelling reason to leave this arrangement. Having said that, we also have an obligation to our constituents. We are a government, and we have to serve our constituents, even if there's only one left. If you annex everything else and there's one home left, we have to serve it by law. So that's important to remember. But we have these three separate agreements, I guess, with Tigard, the Water District, King City, and Durham. And when we started this discussion, I guess it's about 4 years ago now, of the agreements were lousy, needed a lot of work. We all got together and said, would we like to change them? We all said yes. And every month we worked, all of us in the Intergovernmental Water Board worked very closely together to come up with something that would work for all of us. And we worked on it every month for 2 years. And we came up with something that we thought would work. And unfortunately, behind the scenes, I guess it wasn't meant to be. We're never quite sure why. I don't think that was clearly explained to us, but we would still be willing to work towards a common agreement, which we think would be better for all parties. May I address briefly something that was brought up earlier regarding the Tigard has the risk and responsibility? That'd be appropriate?
You guys?
No issue here.
I'll be brief.
Okay.
Tigard does have the risk regarding the bond in the Lake Oswego Tigard Water Agreement. However, the ratepayers of the other three municipal entities are paying as much as the city of Tigard ratepayers per person, per home, towards those. And the discussion was that not to take over the asset at this point, because Tigard has the risk. It was once the bond has played itself out in 30 years, at that point, should the ratepayers of those other entities assume some of Tigard's portion of the ownership of the Lake Oswego piece, because they've essentially funded it as much as the residents of Tigard have. That was the discussion that we'd had at the IWB level. You said you had another question?
I think Councilor Woodard had a question where else would you go if you didn't go to Tigard? So I think Dennis answered those.
I think Dennis did answer that. There are other alternatives. They would be very unwieldy, very challenging for all parties, probably not cost effective for any of us. There's still a compelling reason for the city of Tigard, the city of Durham, the city of King City, and the Tigard Water District to work together in a common agreement. Or certainly to work together in a Tigard water service area, however that falls as far as the ultimate model. We should stay together. We see it as crazy if we don't. We've had disagreements in the past, but mostly over just policy things.
The one thing I've always struggled with is I heard you say we are a government. I get that. So I get that. But I've always struggled with I don't know how to say this nicely, but what does the Tigard Water District bring to the table on a daily basis? And I also heard you say that you're looking to get a percentage of the partnership. That would be something you would be interested in. But then again, I'm also looking at a system that's an aging system. I understand the ratepayers are paying the same rate, I got a bunch of questions in here for you. Help me clear this up in my head. And that if I was a customer, I think a really good deal would be to get a reduction in my rate pay prorated at a discount until the system, the salvage value or whatever the value of that asset today is done deal. And then that way they could receive back some interest, so to speak, in the system. Because I'm kind of in alignment in my distant thinking with where do you see, this is a very good question, where do you see the Tigard Water District and the unincorporated area staying unincorporated for the next 20 years? I want to ask you that directly because I don't think I've talked to you a few times, and I try to really understand, and I know you guys want water and you want a fair deal, I get that, but do you really see in your head in 20 years the Tigard Water District will still be an unincorporated area of Tigard? I think you need to answer that question. That would help us. That would help me.
My personal opinion on that, unfortunately, is irrelevant in that I don't know anyway. The bottom line is those are policy decisions that are not going to be made by us. It's going to be made by the marketplace, if you will, the municipal marketplace. We don't know. We have to assume, as a government, that we have to assume that we will be there.
Okay, so as a government, then again, I'm unclear. I understand city governance. I don't really understand. I don't understand the district governance. I don't have a good. It's hard for me to make the relationship to what you're asking in terms of the interest of the body. I don't understand that governance. I don't.
It's a special district.
I get that, but
under state law.
It's under a different set of state laws.
Okay, different state. Okay, so there's a body of 5 or 6 of you. Is that correct?
We are elected officials, just like you are.
Okay, you're elected, and they're in the county.
Mm-hmm. We're on the ballot, just like you.
What working relationships? What are the partnerships do you have with the county that kind of holds all this stuff together? I'm trying to figure out what the glue is. I think I'm getting there, but I just need a little bit more.
Well, as a city, you have a variety of services you provide. As a district, we have one service that we provide, and that is water. We are not authorized to mess with anything else, 100% water. And as such, we have, if you will, deeded that authority through an intergovernmental agreement to you folks to provide that water.
So then does Washington, so Washington County really owns that piece of the system?
No,
Is that not?
no, the Tigard Water District ratepayers do. And in fact, to clarify.
The ratepayers do?
The ratepayers do. Whether you're the city of Durham, the city of King City, or the Tigard Water District, every dollar you pay in rate, if you're every drop of water that you drink, 99 cents out of that dollar is going to the city of Tigard right now, where we get 1% to help run our board and the things that we have to do as a government. King City gets 1% of their revenue back. Durham gets 1% of their revenue back. Okay, so you're already getting almost all of it.
So the revenue that you receive, if you receive more revenue, what would that governing body want to do with those increased? What would that mean?
Well, that's a question that very much depends on where we all go in the future. If we were to pull ourselves apart from each other, we would certainly need that revenue to develop our water system. We do have taxing authority if we needed to, and our ratepayers, our constituents agree to it, we could tax, just like any other entity.
Thank you, Ken. That helped me out a lot. Appreciate it.
So and maybe this is more direction back to Dennis, but as I'm thinking about this, and you may have a reaction to it, I understand that, or may be concerned or disagree, but this issue about ownership, I mean, under the same thinking that I'm hearing, we should own part of Portland's water system. And I can't follow that logic very well. And in addition, I think it's quite a deal. It sounds like if the members of all these groups are paying the same rates the city of Tigard customers are. Is that true?
That's true.
Yeah, so if that's true, we pay more for our water from Portland right now, then the unit cost would be for an individual in their own house in the city of Portland water system, correct? I mean, they're making money on their water.
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that that's, you know, I mean, that seems like a significant, and I don't think there's an alternative that's going to bring cheaper water, or certainly water that's not marked up more than what the cost is, through the arrangement we have. So I guess I would just direct you that I continue to think that that is a pretty fair deal.
Well, Counselor, thank you for bringing that up. The ownership in the Tigard Lake Oswego agreement was not a life or death deal breaker when we reached draft 6 of the possible common agreements. Everything was open to negotiation. In draft 6, none of us were 100% happy with it of the 4 parties. None of us were 100% unhappy with it. We came up with something that we all kind of thought we can agree with, or we can start as a point that we can negotiate with. And so nothing was on the table and nothing was off the table.
Okay.
But we never got to the point where we can further discuss it at all when the fork in the road appeared from staff and we never got to pursue it further.
Well, I think a big issue that came up was ownership of assets that are outside our service area, i.e. the parts of the system that, you know, in Gladstone and Westland and Lake Oswego and everything else, and how that would be treated was really a big issue that we were going round and round and round about. So.
Well, Chair Henschel, thank you for coming up and answering their questions. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Thank you for
All
asking.
right, thanks.